And hello everyone, it's Tom, it's FANzine Live. We're doing World Zines today, or at least we're doing our darndest to, because I am going to share with you the results of a January trip that I made to Playa del Carmen and Bacalar and Chetumal, Mexico. So coming out of my trip that I did to Europe, gosh, now about a year and a half ago, I have tried my best every time I travel to look for a zine shop. And I thought I would do the same with our trip to Playa del Carmen down in the Riviera Maya. I looked up on Google, find me something to do with zine shops, and all I found was this. They don't even have a straight up comic book shop. Now, Playa del Carmen's not a small town. It's probably 250,000 people now, but the comic culture just hasn't quite taken root. However, anime has. It's not for me as much. I wanted zines. I wanted homemade, printed them off on a photocopier, small press zines, because that's really the heart of what I do as a creative. So I started looking around. I'm like, well, okay, if we don't have a zine shop, but it is a bigger community, maybe there's a zine fest, anything close by. And so I Googled that and ended up finding this. And I'd never seen anything like this before. This is the Liebre Bazar and Print Fest. It is in Playa del Carmen, and they had it on the 17th and 18th of January from 2 to 11 p.m. So we will put that over here, and I will share with you a little of my trip. First, I went with my daughter. She has discovered Playa del Carmen as a place to go as a tourist, and she really is impressed with the cosmopolitan nature of the community. And so that's kind of a neat thing to do, to go experience that with your daughter. So we get in, and it's largely just this courtyard at maybe a hotel, maybe an apartment complex. I'm not exactly certain. In it, there are a bunch of stands. Some of the stuff was really pretty cool. You had a lot of art prints. You had some jewelry. You had some candles. All sorts of nice stuff. The atmosphere is beautiful. It was open air. No rain, thank God. It was really something else. I really enjoyed it. But the Liebre folks advertised zines, and they didn't have a single vendor at this little zine fest that had zines. So you go and you look at what they have and you pick up what you want. I found a few things, and I'm going to share them with you right now. This is a piece done by a lady named Isabella Matteo, and she is out of Danbury, Connecticut. And so we had a bit of a laugh over how an Ohio person and a Connecticut person, that we were hanging out down in Mexico together. And she had some beautiful stuff. I think she said this was kind of a lino cut type print that she made. She had larger versions, smaller versions, but yeah, that was pretty cool. She also had prints that she also made into stickers. Really intricate line work. But she was playing on this with the objectification of women. Then we had another guy who was selling prints, but luckily his prints were postcard sized as well. So you could get the big 11 by 14s or 11 by 17s, but also you get the smaller versions that are more like a mini comic size. This one was interesting because this guy spoke literally no English. And so we used Google Translate as best we could to speak to each other, but we couldn't get a ton of it done. And his Instagram name is Horsehead MX. And this is one of his prints that I thought was kind of fun. It is saying a graphic description of love and hate. You got love on one side, you've got hate on the other, and there you are in the middle. I thought that was kind of fun. Always fun to play with Venn diagrams. This one it says, and I'm using Google Translate on this, I've been handling only canonical events. The rest bores me. And of course, what canonical event had our dinosaur friends hit upon? Perhaps the meteor that hit just north of Playa del Carmen a few million years ago. Lastly, I love this one. The art quality is really nice. It reminds me of some of the European stuff that I've looked at, but you got neat animals in the background. Like it says, your kisses are cold like the rain. Pretty cool. We found a place toward the back, and in fact, here's a little image of the stand where we got that stuff from. And there was a guy there named Clevis, and this was one of his prints that he did, but he doctored it up so the background red was like a risograph, and then this part here was hand painted. I just think it's gorgeous. Actually, no, this one was not. This was an original all the way through. Kind of the window into the soul look. I like that a lot. Behind Clevis's piece, his space, was a sliding door, and you go back into there, there was a little bit of a jewelry shop, food stand, and also a tattoo shop, so my wife would have loved that. But I did pick up a really fun little pin at that jewelry shop, and that is of our friend Winnie the Pooh with a Mike Tyson tribal tattoo on. I thought that was cute. And here's the picture of the full pin. Pretty neat. Lastly, at the Bazar, we found a lady who did quick portraits. And this was like for $5 to get a quick portrait like this. And so she took a picture of me along with my daughter. We went off and did all of our other shopping and looking around. And when we came back, this was waiting for us. Very generous. Not quite as heavy set as I am in real life. So I like that. So yeah, that was the Liebre Bazar and Print Fest. This apparently is the first of its kind in Playa. They operate mostly up in Mexico City, but they're trying to move into the touristy area down in Playa and the Riviera Maya. Just dumb luck that I was able to find this. Neat print there too. And yeah, there's the place, and it's just this little courtyard that we went to. So we had a good time. Didn't find any zines, but had a good time. So after that, on another day when we were down there, my son, my eldest, is a transit aficionado. He has been itching to take the brand new kind of high speed Tren Maya or Maya train that goes all the way around Mexico, around the Yucatan Peninsula. And so we ended up taking the Tren Maya to Chetumal and Bacalar. That is down at the southern tip of the Yucatan, right up against Belize. But Chetumal is the capital city of Quintana Roo, which is the Mexican state that Cancun and Playa del Carmen are in. You first go to Bacalar, and then you hop a cab, or I think we ended up doing an Uber, over to Chetumal. And when we were in Bacalar, we were getting hungry, and so we found a place called El Manatee. El Manatee was neat. It had a kind of a courtyard type dining arrangement, but you had to walk through their store. So there's my bag, and unfortunately it's ripped a little bit. And in that store, they had all sorts of different types of art and artworks, but they also had, and you find them at the strangest times, zines. Oh, it goes this way. A FANzine in Bacalar. This is the lagoon. The other day, zine in Bacalar. So I thought I would share these with you. These were by a guy named Pablo Noriega. And this is a standard quarter-page mini comic. He did do stitching on the side, which was nice. Bit of a cardstock style cover. Most of his stuff is in Spanish, but there are some bits that are in English. But basically, it's the story of this guy's trip to Bacalar. You know, Dear Diary, this day has been beautiful. I watched the sunrise in the lagoon, dancing the salsa, drinking like you can't believe. I was so curious about everything. Is this trash can ancestral? I will definitely watch a documentary about you, my friend. He's got a squirrel. And although my Spanish is no bueno, I was able to connect with the locals because they're both doing probably tequila. I love this. The guy says, I will never forget you, Tulum. This is Bacalar, senor. Some stuff about Bacalar. Used to be a pirate base at one point. The Spanish had a fantastic fort there. That was one of their first settlements in the area. But kind of neat. But a lot about the party scene and the youth scene in Bacalar. Welcome to the Hotel California. And then at the end it did say, Gracias for Bacalar. Very nice. So yes, there are mini comics in Riviera Maya. They're just darned hard to find. So here's the other one. This is basically a slightly different cover, though not that far different. But the guts are basically all the same. Nice saddle stitch, though. Hey, that's life. it's good that we support this guy. He's having fun. He's making zines, and he's down in Bacalar. So there you go. All the goodies coming out of Bacalar, coming out of Playa del Carmen. Some really beautiful stuff from a very fun trip. I always suggest that if you get a chance that you go and take a look at Google or what have you, look and see if there's a zine fest when you're traveling. See if there's a comic shop. See if there's a zine shop. There are some really good ones out there. In this case, as you can see, even when you can't find a comic shop or a zine shop that kind of suits your fancy, there's still some really great stuff that you can pick up and that you can memorialize your trip in a way that's probably better than a t-shirt or yet another can koozie or something like that. Anyway, World Zines. We did get a couple of them here out of Mexico, and we got a lot of other goodies as well. So there we go, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this little trip through the Riviera Maya. Don't forget, like the video, subscribe to FANzine Live, and tell your friends, because we look at stuff that you probably won't hear about pretty much anywhere else. Thank you once again for watching and taking part in FANzine Live. So glad to have you along for the ride, and I will catch you next time.